We all know that in the future, we're all going to be paid for outcomes. We're not going to be paid for providing individual services. And we all have to think a little bit differently, and that's a big challenge for all of us.
How can we drive impact, not just from a human service perspective, but from other sectors, healthcare, and what ultimately does that mean for the consumer that we're serving, and how do we actually, work with them closely to make a real impact? And that's, I think, why we're all here.
They're important, especially now with a new CEO, because we've got a fresh pair of glasses who's looking at our organization, how can we improve some things, and this was a very timely fit.
I'm here with our CEO and our president, and certainly the CEO and the three of us sitting in a row, like nodding our heads, because I think the leadership aspect of strategy is so much how you model behaviors.
One of the exciting insights that I've gained is the more intentional we are, the clearer we are about not only what we want to achieve, but what behaviors are necessary in order to achieve it, and to really think about where the roadblocks are.
I see this as a real strategic timeout where you're learning something new, but you get an opportunity outside of the normal hustle to think through things, to be reflective.
These events help us really key us in on the best practices, the cutting edge approaches that are there. And just as importantly is the networking we get to do with our colleagues and the peers that is just as helpful as some of the presentations.
And then this morning we talked more about different values for civic engagement, and I think that'll be helpful for our organization as well.
Really being able to pick the brains of the best and the brightest across the country, specifically thinking through strategy and what does strategy mean in the nonprofit world and in the different types of organizations and services that we offer.
But I had an epiphany last night when I heard Susan Dreyfus talk about strategy as the R&D department for the nonprofit sector. I had been looking for a very crisp way of explaining what strategy is, and that really helped. That will be one of my big takeaways.
I viewed the Strategy Summit, the Strategy Council Initiative, as an opportunity to learn tools, practical tools, tips, talk with peers, hear what the best practices are, so I can take that back to my organization to help make an impact not only in the organization but on the children and families that we serve. That's really what it's about.
And these places, for me, allow me to do two things. They allow me to hear new thoughts and then to merge them into something that I'm really needing that new thought to help me lever, or they allow me to build a connector relationship so that when I get a little fatigued from the joy of it all, I have someone else who's climbing the same tree I'm climbing, who can offer me a perspective that helps me get back into the game.
I thank you so much for all you do, because you are, right now, in this national network, you are our R&D. You are helping through this project to help design, create, develop the kinds of strategies that don't just make you high-performing organizations who can figure out how to navigate through these rough waters, but high-performing, impactful organizations that if you closed your doors, your communities would mourn your loss.